Reports on the economy are up and down. While a new Wall Street Journal poll of so-called experts are now saying there will not be a recession, they're not giving it a clean bill of health either. In the big picture, consumers are still spending, but the spending is a bit more restrained. Employment reports are fair. As I mentioned last week, the recent jobs report is not that big a deal since manufacturing jobs went down and public employment at state and local operations went way up. The threatened tariffs, with many in effect for months now, are producing income for the Fed, but without the increase in inflation predicted. However, the most recent inflation number is up 0.3% to 2.7%, so not a good trend. Remember, the target's 2%. The wholesale pricing is level, so that's a good note. Trump continues to call out Powell at the Fed for not lowering the Fed rate, but a conservative approach is for the Fed to watch the trend for a few more months before deciding on a drop in the rate. Trump also continues to call for Powell to resign, which I doubt will happen before the end of his term in May of 2026. An interesting number is the gross domestic product, or GDP, which grew 1% over year in the fourth quarter, increasing from the April forecast of just 0.8%. However, it's important to note that with the recent passage of the big tax bill, the politicians are calling for a GDP growth of 2.5% to avoid a huge increase in the national debt. The economists predict more like an annual rate of 1.9%, well below that. Hey, folks, in financing a car loan or a house loan, maybe 0.6% doesn't make a big difference. When you are dealing with trillions and trillions of dollars, we're talking about massive amounts of money. So it is important how well the economy does. This is Dr. David D. Schein. Thanks for joining me for this special edition of Saving America. Remember, a new Saving America show is aired on the Brushwood Media Network every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Listen on any of the 16 network stations, Apple or Google mobile app, Apple CarPlay, TuneIn, Smart Speaker, and all smart TVs. Find more information at the brushwoodmedianetwork.com. Please be sure to join us each week. We welcome and love your feedback from our growing audience.